Thursday session, and normally, I am mildly dictatorial and antagonistic about question length. And then last Thursday, I kind of just ranted for a little bit longer per questions and kind of enjoyed that. So I'm probably going to stick to that flow for today's session, which should be interesting. First things first. So what happened last week? A little bit of an update on this. So last week was Prime Day, right? And, for some of you guys are just joining, this is the first office hours you've ever been on. And some of you guys are old hat. You've been here for a long time. And you remember the very first Prime Day, we decided to run a sale, right? And this is totally not a conventional thought pattern in the art business, like to run our sales on these random times like Prime Day. Like, who would even think something like that would happen? But the reality is we broke an all-time company record last week for the number of transactions. So the total number of items from merch up to art and down sold on the platform, which is just absolutely incredible. All of which happened during the backdrop of political shenanigans here at home, a conflict in the Middle East, and all of that, which was just stealing attention at an alarming rate. So extremely, extremely pleased with those results. Makes me very, very happy to think that that was our first sale kicking off Q4, and it did as well as it did. We hang a lot of those results on Copilot and what Copilot did, because a lot of times you guys are your worst enemies when it comes to running sales. You don't follow the calendar completely, which I know, and that's okay because it's hard, right? But it was very, very encouraging to see that, and understand what Prime Day represents, right? Jeff Bezos, in his infinite wisdom, stole the idea for Prime Day from the Chinese, okay? The Chinese, everyone thinks like Black Friday, Cyber Monday is like the biggest online e-commerce holiday in the world. It's not even close, okay? The biggest is called Singles Day, which is 11/11 in China. And they essentially invented a holiday out of thin air, which they called Singles Day. They just literally made it up. The e-commerce platforms there, Alibaba, AliExpress, and then the other one, which the name escapes me. And at first, it was one day, and then they stretched it to an entire week. And I think it's like 5 to 6 times the size of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's like how big an emerging power China is. And in amazing turnabout is fair play, because China is known with copying us on everything, and stealing intellectual property and all the rest. Jeff Bezos just stole the idea. And at first, it was Prime Day. It was a one-day sale. And it's just a sale made up out of thin air, just to help the bottom line. That's it. Then he's like, wow, this really worked. Let's stretch it to a 3-day event. And then he stretched it to a 3-day event. And I think this is probably our, 4th or 5th year running it. And what Prime Day represents, what we all need to be aware and switched on about, is that when the giant retailers run sales, okay, and it's something like 75% of Americans are Amazon members, and Amazon Prime is the most subscribed to subscription service that exists on the planet, okay, or at least in the United States. When those guys run those huge sales, they have such advertising power that they whip everyone into a frenzy. It has an effect on all of us from a dopamine standpoint, and you start getting the FOMO, oh my gosh, these deals are coming, these deals are coming, these deals are coming. And what ends up happening is people end up buying things that they don't even need. You're not even really need any of that stuff. It's not like you have a deep desire. I mean, aside from, you're waiting for a vacuum cleaner to go on sale, so you need a new vacuum. I actually need one now, I'm crapped out, so that's why I'm thinking about that. But people purchase things, okay, on a whim. Things that they didn't necessarily need, because they're driven by this deal language. So we water ski behind all of that energy and effort that they're putting into that spend, and we do our best to take advantage of it. I think I'm going stand-up mode today. Hold on, I got my stand-up desk. All right, hold on. Okay, sorry for the distraction. So really what Amazon does in that situation is it creates a bunch of impulse purchases from people that didn't necessarily need the thing, but knew that there was a deal in the water, and, I'm going to go get, a wireless battery for my cell phone or whatever it was. And so a lot of it was impulse purchases. And a huge part of this number of transactions is the fact that we've worked so hard all year long on getting our lineups in order, right? having prices $100 and less, having non-wall art as a part of the lineup, because those are the types of sales that you don't need to involve your significant other. You can do it on a whim, right? You can just get your little dopamine hit, save a couple of bucks, and buy something. And so that was really reflected in the sheer number of transactions that went down. Now, some of you did great, awesome. Some of you did okay, a couple of sales. Some of you are like, this is nonsense. I didn't sell anything. Don't worry if you're in the latter camp, okay? This is the first sale of Q4, the very first one. And every single solitary one that you run and you participate in, you get a little bit better. And over the next 10 years, you're going to be running hundreds of sales. It is a very, very important activity for an art of photography business. And look, this is a collector-driven business, okay? It is all about the number of new customers you guys acquire. The merch, especially when you're selling a tremendous amount of it, and you're like, okay, yeah, great, I sold 6 pieces of merch for, $500. That's not going to pay your bills. But what you've done is you've acquired new customers that will come back and purchase again. And this is just the game. How many new customers can we acquire per year, every single solitary year? So very, very good results. I'm very, very pleased to see that. I think it bodes very well for what we have coming up. We have 38 days as it stands right now till Black Friday, till the biggest one in the United States. And so it's going to get very, very interesting between now and then the rush to the holiday buying season. So all of which is just to be encouraged with that information. Everyone stay on the gas. Everyone's in a different, part of their journey, just getting started, been at it 3 years, been at it 5 years. The point is that right now is 100% the time for focus. Right now is 100% time for execution, okay? And staying on the gas no matter what situation you are in, just getting started, suffering through it, learning all of this stuff, low follower counts. It's all good. It's Q4. This is just the one time where we cannot be complacent. We have to stick to our active marketing. Now, one of the other things that I've noticed, and I've teased this idea a few times in a few different ways, but this notion that art sales are 50-50, okay? It is 50% of the quality of the art that you are creating and all that entails, okay? The subject matter material, how good you are with a brush, how good you are with the camera and the lens, all of that, okay, great. And the other 50% is who you are as the artist, what makes you tick, what makes you interesting, right? Where you live, where you grew up, are you religious or not? Do you like drinking beer or wine? Are you a teetotaler, dog person, cat person? You like to work out, whatever it is. Everyone has things, okay, that they enjoy, that are a part of their life experience. And each one of those things has individual tribes associated with it. There's tribes of people that live in California. There's tribes of people that have kids. There's tribes of people that like gardening. There's tribes of people that collect cars. There's tribes of people that are Christians and Muslims and Jews and atheists and every other thing under the sun. And when we give a little window into who we are, what that does is that gives our potential buyers and people that are interested in our art that we draw into our ecosystem as a result of our marketing, it gives them something that they can bond with you on, okay? And what I continue to see, including in a great many customer sites, is when I come to your social media profile, if it takes me more than a couple of thumb clicks and I can't learn a single solitary thing about you, it's too late. You've already lost an opportunity. I need to be able to come to your guys' social media profiles and not just see the art, okay? You can't hide behind the canvas and you can't hide behind the lens. The problem is a lot of you guys like hiding behind the canvas and like hiding behind the lens. A lot of you guys are introverts, okay? You're not comfortable on video, and that's okay. Doesn't need to be solved overnight, but it does need to be solved. And so I want to continue working on and continue discussing and talking about some of these other ways that you can let people know some of the things that make you, you. Okay? It's a big deal. It is not a small matter. Human beings bond with other human beings based on things that we have in common and based on shared mutual suffering sometimes, right? The example I always give is like, I woke up this morning, okay, I stepped on a Lego, almost broke my neck, and 2 hours later, I was scrubbing crayon off of my wall, okay? It doesn't matter how many times I tell them. Other people that have children are instantaneously like, okay, Patrick, I've got kids too. I remember that phase. Then we're in a conversation about that. Now we're more bonded. Now we have a relationship. Now they're more likely to buy my art, buy your art. So it's very, very important to remember that. And again, you don't have to have a television crew follow you around the entire time, okay? But just talk about who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you interesting. Bring some of that into your profile. It can't just be art piece after art piece after art piece after art piece after art piece, okay? It can't. We need to know who you are. We need to know what makes you tick. So we're going to be talking more and more about that. I'm going to be teaching you ways to do it. We're going to be going over examples, and I will be looking at your Instagram profiles. And if I find art piece after art piece after art piece, I will scream and yell at you, okay? And those are the rules, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But in all seriousness, I'm going to try and encourage you every single solitary way that I can. Okay. On that note, we will get into the free-flowing, open, conversational portion of today's session, office hours. And might as well just kick right into it. We don't have any announcements, do we, Indra, or anything I need to mention?
Nope, we're good.
Wonderful. Chloe, you're up first. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to say I had my first order through my website.
Boom.
And it was actually merch, so
There you go.
good that we were talking about that.
Was it the Prime Day sale?
I actually am not sure. I mean, I'm on Copilot, so I don't really know. It just kind of came in my inbox, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. I didn't even do anything.
Exactly right. But I do still want you doing things, right? There is still marketing to do, which is that other 50% that I just ranted about, which what makes Chloe Chloe, right? She's got a last name of Ferrari, which is very cool. Maybe we'll talk about that, right? Like, how can I get to know you? So that's the other part of it.
I will definitely work on that.
Okay.
My main question, I had like a small question about the merch. I don't know if that would be for tech support, but my main question was, I've been doing a lot of commissions this summer, and that's been going really well.
Okay.
But I'm working on one right now, and the client has not been the easiest to work with, would be the way I'd put it. She's made about, I want to say like 10 to 15 different design changes.
Okay.
And I didn't really have any framework for charging for that. Like I'm doing murals, right? So I'm charging per square footage or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And she's somebody I know, so I didn't really have like a commission agreement. And clearly from this experience, I need to have something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if ASF or any other artists here have like an example they could send me, or, something like that.
Yeah, I think everyone in their career needs to get burned like this one time so that you learn the lesson, right? And inevitably it happens. Like everyone in every business learns these lessons this way, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm now like 5 times the amount of hours in this. And all of it is really, really easy to communicate up front. So I would say, as you navigate through this one, right, and the fact that the person, that means there's likely a relationship at stake, right? So how you play this one is probably more important about whether or not you want to preserve the relationship or not, right? But have an open and honest conversation on this one, right? So let's talk about this one versus in the future. On this one, be like, okay, well, I just want to let you know that, like, this has been the most change orders on any one mural I've ever had. I know you and we've got a great relationship, so I'm happy to accommodate you on that. But that's the last one. If we do any more, I'm going to have to raise the prices.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to say that. And you have to say that immediately, because if you don't, they're going to keep coming. They'll keep coming all the way to the very end, right?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, in the future, I think you just make it explicit. You don't need a giant contract or anything else. You can just verbally do it. Like, okay, and some people are saying have a contract. So for me, until you're getting like a lot of them, I like having the individual conversations with the person every single solitary time. I always default to that rather than, some sort of boilerplate contract, but that's just me. You just have to make it clear up front. You can have 3 change orders, right? Like when you go and get a logo from a graphic designer, they're very, very explicit about that, right? Like there's going to be 3 changeovers, and you control the process tight like that, and that should do it. Mark, if you have a sample contract language, Mark in the chat is saying write up an agreement that says, there'll be extra and how much it'll cost. You could certainly do the contract too. My experience with you guys doing contracts is you make the contracts so damn difficult that the prospective buyer runs for the exit so quick it makes their head spin. So I don't want you adding too much friction to it. You know what I mean? But that's what I would do. And just know, like, once you've been burned on one, it'll give you the fire to not ever get stuck in that situation again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was also just wondering about a contract so it's legally binding. Like, what if I'm doing a commission for someone that is from the internet? Like I want to make sure that I'm going to be paid for my services as well, and it's not just like word of mouth.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So when you're doing a commission, is this a work on canvas, or this is like a mural on a building?
Well, I've actually done a lot of commissions in
Mm-hmm.
the past, but they've all been for pretty close family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, I mean, I've done like paintings, and then recently this summer, I've done some pretty large murals.
Okay. I think you need to differentiate between the two. 100% you should take a deposit on every single solitary commission. Okay.
Okay.
Period. End of sentence. 10, 20, 30%, something like that. You can take up to 50%, depending on how you want to do it. And no one will balk at your terms if you deliver them clearly and succinctly right out of the gates, right? Like, and your terms could be, yeah, I'm really excited to do this commission for you. Just so you know, I charge a 50% deposit and you're allowed 3 change orders. Other than that, it goes extra. Okay. And they'll always say yes. Now, on the murals, that's a little bit of a different story. And I think, especially if you get into murals, into like take it out, like let's say construction, right? Like let's say that I'm going to get my backyard redone, right? Re-landscaped and new sprinklers and a water feature, right? And it's like a $50,000 job. Depending on the size of the job, it's great to break the thing up into milestones and have them pay for each milestone you hit. It protects you and it protects them, right? So you could say like, hey, this is a $10,000 mural. After I'm done with a third of it, or, I'm going to take 30% deposit down. After I'm done with a third of it, I take the second third. And after I complete, I get the rest, right? And so you can kind of break it up in verifiable terms that you guys both agree to. And that can kind of keep you from getting in trouble in those scenarios.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Clay. We should get some, like, somebody, other than ChatGTP legal department to write up a bunch of contracts for us. It's not a bad idea. Thomas, you're up next. Go ahead, Thomas. And you'll need to unmute, Thomas. You're still muted, Thomas. I can't hear you. Mic icon, bottom left-hand corner. Yep, gotcha.
Yep. All right. See, I need technical help.
Good.
I said hello. I don't think we've met before because I'm new.
Yeah, welcome.
I have a basic question and then I need some tech help.
Okay.
The basic question is on the products, the framed paperwork. Is there any glazing that goes with that if somebody orders a framed print?
Great question. No idea. Definite fulfillment question. Do we have the fulfillment room open, or I guess the first room is tech and fulfillment? So that's a technical question. You'll come to find out I'm the marketing guy. I run the marketing department here. So when it comes to tech related questions, I'm pretty much worthless.
Okay. Well, the other thing I need help with is Instagram. I'm struggling with that. So can you put me with somebody that can work with me on that?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what is your primary struggle right now? And by the way, it's supposed to be a struggle for the first little bit. That doesn't go away. Don't worry.
I've discovered Canva, and I use that to design the Instagrams, but I can't figure out how to get them out of my computer into Instagram.
Yeah, so
I haven't been designing them on the phone. I've been doing it on the computer because I like
it. Yeah. So what I usually do in that situation, are you all in the Apple ecosystem or are you on a PC?
Apple.
Yeah, so Apple has a thing called AirDrop, which is pretty cool. I would just Google. I would go to YouTube and search YouTube for how to use AirDrop. And what AirDrop will let you do is that after you're done with the image in Canva, you save it, and then it'll allow you to wirelessly move it from your computer directly onto your phone. And then when you go to post it, it's just automatically there, which is an amazing thing that Apple does. We don't have that with PCs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
AirDrop.
Yeah. And so just go onto YouTube and say, how do I use AirDrop? And YouTube will have like a in-depth, like step-by-step, screen share that'll show you how to use the entire thing, because you might need to turn it on. I'm not an Apple guy, so I don't know how it works, but that's what I would use every time. And then that automatically gets it. Oh, there's Indra put it in the chat, how to use AirDrop. So that's what I would do.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And then we can put you in the tech room for the other question.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. And welcome aboard, Thomas.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is Diane. Go ahead, Diane.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Just ducky.
Well, wonderful.
I have quite a few former customers who they bought from me in the past. My work is hanging on their walls, but they're more interested in merchandise.
Okay.
And my question, I guess, is how, if I want to offer the merchandise in categories, because I had it all arranged the beginning of the year before Copilot came and started changing things. So I still have warehouses for tote bags and mugs and stuff with the images very, very specifically set for those products.
Okay.
If I keep those and have it turned off no for Copilot, and the only way they have to access it is through the navigation bar under gifts. Is that okay with Copilot and for marketing purposes?
Yeah. Absolutely it is. And also, like, if they're old friends and they've purchased things or they're collectors, like, I love just walking them through it all on the phone, because these are the people that you want. You want to make it so easy for these folks. It's unbelievable. Right.
Exactly.
Like I would be like, don't even worry about it. We can jump on a Zoom. You can literally email me and I will give you access to my Zoom account, just so you get on a Zoom with them and you do the whole thing on the website for them. And then you put the credit card in there for them, and then off it goes to them, because you want them to feel special. Like, these are the people that are going to keep coming back and back and back and back and back. Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure that was an okay thing. Right now, I don't know, I was being guided toward making a seasonal category on the main page just for certain items, and it's getting cumbersome because now I have to resize the item.
And I don't want you resizing. I want you spending all that time on marketing. So just get them on the phone and get the order over. That's what I would do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I have to get. I'm guilty of the staying behind the camera part. So.
Oh, all of us. Let me tell you, until
COVID,
no one knew what I look like. All I did was have a podcast, and all the videos I made were just talking heads, because I hated being on camera. But I got contrarian about it. We all have to get contrarian about it, right? Like, it's just that fisherman analogy again. Like, all of us are trying to catch the fish, which is attention, right? So we drive the boat down, drive down to the dock, get on the boat, and drive the boat to where the fish are. And that's marketing on the socials, and that means video. So we have to do more of it, right? We have to do more of it.
Okay, well, I'm just about at that point now, so.
Wonderful. And you've got Copilot doing the other stuff, so you just focus on what can I learn from you? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Where do you like to travel to, right? Like, I need to learn. I need to know these things, Diane. I need to know them.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and can you send me to tech? Because now I have a whole bunch of questions for them.
Absolutely. We'll get you in there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. All right, Rosalind, you're up next.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I have two questions, but I guess you'd want me to ask one and then come back around again. Is that correct?
Oh, just fire away. We'll see how we go.
Okay. The first question is pretty simple. So I've been following the Build Your Users to 1,000 on Instagram.
Wonderful.
And it's been slowly building up. I'm finally over 400.
Very good.
But I've got like 1,100 people that I'm following. Shouldn't I start reducing that? Because doesn't that seem
nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Okay.
It's certainly not a focus, and I would almost say, like, this is like a one-time event, getting your followers up above this threshold, right? So you could save all of it for the new year. You could save all of it for the downtime after Christmas if you want, right? And just use the margin time then. Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one is has to do with posting new stuff. So one of the things that I've done for the holiday season is I've made some Santa penguins and some Santa polar bears
Love it.
from
Great
my
idea.
trip
Great
to
idea.
Antarctica.
Yes,
Huh?
great idea. Love it. Love it.
Right. Okay. And there are things that I'm self-fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I get those to be in Copilot?
I don't know. Can we do that, Indra, or do we not do that? I don't understand why that would be a problem.
Yeah,
Because
there's
they
sort of
only take things that are in the regular print store. They don't take things that are in.
Got it. Got it.
You can add it as a product on your print warehouse and just not place it on any visible gallery on the front end of your websites. And we could still use it for Copilot posts.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, because I just wanted them to show up on the Instagram and Facebook posts because they're definitely, geared towards that.
Yeah, holiday themed, and I love it. And I've been ranting a lot recently about like how smart the seasonal home decor art creation strategy is for just acquiring new customers, right? You just end up acquiring a bunch of new customers you wouldn't otherwise. And I'm really trying to get art storefronts, hint, hint, to rent me a serious studio so I could set it all up and like really get into like home shopping network style. I mean, that's a terrible analogy, the home shopping network, but like the pillows, the two pillows down, the tote bag hanging on the mantle, like people love that stuff. People love that stuff. People go crazy for decorating. And it's just a great way to acquire customers. And you acquire a customer, and some portion of them are going to come back and buy again and again. So great strategy. You're on the right track.
Okay, and then my last question just has to do when I post new stuff onto my site, there's no way that somebody coming to my site can click somewhere and see the new stuff. I mean, so for example, like I put some new waterfalls in the other day.
Yeah, I would just create a category that says new releases.
All right.
Yeah, and throw them in there. Done.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if somebody wants to see the new stuff, boom, they go right to that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay. Teresa, you're up next. Go ahead, Teresa.
I kind of feel like you should probably send me directly to the tech room because I have a question regarding Facebook. I have Facebook regular and Facebook Lite apps on my phone.
Yeah, get rid of the light and just use the regular.
Yeah. Well, I have both of those apps. And today, Andres Bermudez had a Zoom session with me with a phone call. And I just noticed after the session that I'm not sure both of those apps have been properly prepared for my Q4.
Yeah, so that there's not really any preparation you need to do for the apps. The app is just a way for you to get onto Facebook. So there's no preparation that those need at all. I mean, as long as the main Facebook app, not the Facebook Lite, the main Facebook app is connected to your Facebook business page, then you can post directly from the phone, and that's literally the only setup you need to do.
Well, again, Andres Bermudez did that for me. It's a part of the program that I paid for the 4 months.
Got it.
So, and can I assume that he did that properly?
Oh yeah. It's really, really simple. It's just a matter of having the right login. So I can guarantee you that he did that.
Okay. Well, I was a little confused because I have two apps.
Yeah. I'd like, you can use that other one, for extracurricular browsing. Just use the main app for anything business related. Okay. Yeah.
As long as it's set up right, then I don't have no worries.
You have no worries. And you know where to find us if anything comes up.
Yeah, it's chat room.
Yeah, chat room or breakout room or any of these sessions. So if you get confused, just come back and let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tristan.
Are we moving Teresa to tech?
No, she's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Martos Hoffman or Marto Hoffman.
Hey, Martos.
Hey,
yes.
Martos.
How are you?
Martos, where are you from originally with a name like that?
Well, I'm a U.S. citizen, but my parents named me after a great grandfather who escaped from Russia, from the Stalin era.
Wow.
Part of my story.
See, exactly right. You know, now we have that to bond over.
That's right.
Yeah.
Besides my weird name.
Yeah.
So anyway, question is kind of an extension of some of the things I've been seeing going on in the chat. But I have on my business page in Facebook, I have 600 and some followers.
Yeah.
However, my personal friends on my personal Facebook page, I have close to 2,000.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest best kind of leveraging those friends and trying to move them to my business account, or at least following my business account, other than just inviting them, as I saw that there's one?
Yeah, the long and the short is it's hard, right? Like it's hard. It's almost like a thankless task because such a small amount move over. But big picture, we have our personal accounts and we have our business accounts, right? Our goal for every one of you is to have a huge business through the lens of time, right? So the fact that the business account is not limited on followers, that's why our recommendation is, as well as we need it to plug into some back-end stuff with Facebook. But the personal account can still be extremely valuable, right? You don't share all of the posts all the time, but you get more leverage from sharing some of the posts on your personal as well as the business than you do asking people to follow, right? That's number one. Number two, we are in an era right now of like an alarming rate of change when it comes to these tech platforms. And Mark Zuckerberg is not going to be counted out on Facebook. And sometimes this virtual reality, metaverse, augmented reality thing is going to take hold. And that's why I love you have both still going and both are still active, because we play the long game here, right? And oftentimes the pendulum comes swinging back, right? And Instagram is kind of the hot kid on the block right now, but I don't want any of us discounting Facebook in the slightest, because at a point this damn metaverse thing is going to hit, and it is going to be beneficial to those that have kept Facebook going to get it there. So I wouldn't overly stress about it. I would continue working on building the business page. I still would over-index on Instagram, and then I would post my best stuff, the big sales, the big announcements, not everything, on the personal page, because you're going to get more clicks there than you will.
And you suggest that I actually share that from my business page, so it provides a direct link back to the business page, or do it on my personal page?
It's kind of like pitches, right? Like sometimes throw the fastball, sometimes throw the curveball, mix it up a little bit. Sometimes don't use a link at all. Sometimes just, say, hey, go over there, right? Like, by the way, I have a huge sale going on. Check out my business page. I mix it up because, it's all about just how many people Facebook's going to show it to, right? And so don't always do the same thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, great. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Ken, you are up next. Go ahead, Ken.
All right. My question kind of was, I think, technical.
Okay.
My Instagram account on my phone is going to an account I deleted.
Okay.
And I lost the link from my artwork store to my Instagram account.
Okay. Well, it's not a link. What it is it's a login, right? So what you want to do, the first thing to do is, if you look at the bottom, of Instagram here, right? And you press on that little guy there.
Yeah.
That little bottom, it's the bottom right-hand corner person. If I do a press on that, it'll show me whether or not I have a new account logged in, because sometimes it lets you just toggle between the two of them that way. So you might have it in there already. If you don't, then you need to go to add account. And what that'll do is that'll let you log into the new one. Now, if you don't have the credentials for that, then you might need to reset the credentials and figure out what email address you use to sign up. But it's probably the same one as your other account.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. That's all I had a question about.
Wonderful. And if you can't figure it out, get into a tech room and they can try and walk you through it too on a screen share.
All right.
Thanks, Ken. All right, Doug, you're up next. Go ahead, Doug. I'll kill the screen share.
Okay, sorry, let me get off onto video. Hello.
Hey.
I too have a question or two about Facebook. I'm still fairly new,
okay.
About 6 weeks into it.
Oh yeah, you're super new. Yeah.
Website is almost ready to go.
Very good.
I am super concerned about the movement of Facebook friends on my personal page, of which I have almost 5,000, to the business page. I looked at the video that was done and it talked about, using the notifications, but it wasn't clear to me what people will receive when they get a notification. It's not like there seemed to be anything about how we word the notification. Is it kind of an automatic?
It does it automatically. It's like
Doug
is recommending you follow Doug Black Photography, right? And someone click it. But don't be super worried about it. It's the same advice that I just gave. Now I forgot his name.
Right.
But I'm the worst with names in the history of mankind. I'm trying to find him.
No, you're not. I'm worse.
It's just not my gift.
You are. Who are you?
Martus.
Okay, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's just not a hugely impactful or important thing. Like what you want to do. My advice to you is the exact same as it was to him, which is post the really big sales and some of the really big links on both the business and the personal. Right. It's going to take a while to grow the business, and that's okay. But we still have the personal that we can leverage from time to time, which is great.
Right, but I have been posted. I mean, I have a certain voice on my Facebook posts that people are familiar with, and I do not want to sound like I'm overly pushing the marketing of this. That's kind of why I want them to go to the business page,
for sure.
So they know
you can use that voice, and you should use that voice on your personal page, but you don't have to worry about it on the business page, right? Are you on Copilot?
On what?
Are you on Copilot?
I am on Copilot, but I'm not
connected yet
using that for the website giveaway stuff because I don't like the wording.
Yeah.
It's very important for me to do it, like I said, in my own.
Yeah. You realize you can edit that text before it goes out.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So do you still recommend going to, I forget whether it's 150 people at a time or 1,000 at a time that you're allowed to use notifications on Facebook?
I would do it when I have margin. I would do it when I have margin time. I wouldn't make it a major, worry, right? Because it's just a low ROI activity. It just is. It's really hard to get people to move over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? My website's not ready and all that yet, but am I overthinking it by not doing posts on my Facebook business page?
1,000% yes. And the website should be ready if you have one piece up there and it takes credit card. That to me is ready to launch.
Right, but it's not even there. I mean, it is, but I just fixed the welcome message, when people sign up for an email and stuff and things like that.
But now is peak season, right? Like your website, you're working at a beach resort, and it's peak season right now. So don't worry about the roof. Don't worry about the paint. Get that thing live.
Yes, but I haven't named all my photos yet that are on. They're in the wrong galleries.
Yeah, call them all named TBD.
Okay. I kind of get your point.
Yeah. It's just this is a seasonal business, and this is peak season right now. It is absolutely peak season, and so
right. But don't you want your first, message to them to be?
No. Do you know who Reid Hoffman is?
I've heard the name.
So legendary entrepreneur. He was at PayPal. He then left PayPal and started LinkedIn. Sold that to Microsoft. Now he owns his own venture capital fund. His quote is one of my favorites. If you're not embarrassed by your first version, you've launched too late.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah. So get going. Don't worry.
And don't even worry about pinning something.
No. Get that thing page up. Say work in progress and get going, because Black Friday is 38 days away, and you want to. It's more important that you try to get some sales in on that than you got the time, January, February, March, to get everything dialed in. Worry about it then.
Right. Apologize later.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Welcome aboard. Mike, you're up next.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I am brand new to art storefronts.
Welcome aboard.
Actually, I just signed up on Friday.
Okay.
And so just like Doug, my website is not ready. I have my, I guess my website build on Thursday. But I do have a couple of questions. I heard you guys mentioning merch.
Yes.
And so I have never sold merchandise. I do original art. I'm a painter. So is it a requirement to do merch?
Nothing's a requirement per se, right? We're not dictatorial to that extent, but the optics about it are not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time, right? The hardest thing for you to do is your outbound marketing. And so when you do your outbound marketing and you attract somebody in your ecosystem and they're not ready to buy wall art and you don't have anything for them, the mass say they're leaving and they're never coming back. So you're never going to end up seeing the ROI from your marketing efforts if you don't have non-wall art as a part of the lineup. Now, I don't care what the it is, as long as you have it, right? So there's some variance in what the particular products are. But if you're hung up on the notion that, I'm a fine artist, I only sell fine art, like name me a museum you've been to that doesn't have a gift shop. Right? Like
which actually brings me to another point, because I've thought about doing sales and whatnot. I've been pretty successful at selling through Facebook and Insta.
Okay.
I run ads through them and whatnot. But when I've talked to people about doing a sale, they have told me that it devalues my artwork to do a sale.
Yeah. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's not about optics. It's about the bottom line, right? Like you signed up here because you want to take this thing to the next level. And my position at a macro is that more art is sold, whether you're talking about through galleries or whether you're talking about directly from websites, more art is sold at a discount than is not. Okay. And it's just maths. It's just psychology to get people to take action. That's it. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You can discount only on your prints and not on your originals if it really bothers you. But when you zoom out in this business and you realize here's what your business looks like over the next 10 years. Okay. How can I predict the revenue potential of your business over the next 10 years? Well, what do I know? I know that art and photography businesses are collector-based businesses, meaning the more collectors the business has, the more accurately you can predict the revenue potential. Well, what does it take to get a collector? To acquire a customer in the first place, right? So it comes down to the number of new customers that you acquire per year. And folks that say, I don't ever want to discount and I don't ever want to do that with my prices, how many customers are they acquiring a year versus someone that is discounting and selling merch, right? It's like, okay, over here you're acquiring 7 and over here this person's acquiring 150. Well, 150, which will end up doubling every year, stretched over 10 years, the math say you are going to have a significantly higher number of collectors on your hand than you would if you didn't. And the collectors are the whole ballgame, and they don't care. Like more art sells at a discount than doesn't, and especially at the higher end of things. So for me, it's just a bad piece of advice if you actually want to grow a business. It's all just ego. It's all just ego. Like I would never discount my art, right? Now, I've got customers that don't, okay? But they've been grinding at their marketing for 12 years and they have an insane amount of demand. So it becomes a different equation then, right? But for the short term, I would never not recommend doing it. And you can appear not to be salesy all day long, right? But I could also show you, the 2 examples that we love using because one each. Weiland sells $40 million worth of art a year, okay? And he's on sale all the time. In the photographic realm, we like to talk about Gray Malin. Gray Malin does $20 million a year, and he's on sale all the time. And what do those guys know that does anyone look less of them as artists? No, right? It makes no material impact whatsoever. The only difference is those guys are making a significant amount of money because they understand the ballgame is how many new customers are you acquiring per year. So I I don't believe it to be a sensible hill to die on. You're essentially saying to yourself, like, I am not going to do that because it is going to bruise my ego in the way that I look, to the detriment of I could care less about what my ego looks like in the short term because I want to have a growing, thriving business, right? Which is the more important one for me. So that's sort of our rationale and our psychology in all of it. And again, I think it's like so hypocritical, because if you actually get yourself into the gallery system, in the gallery world, as opaque as that world is, right? What all artists aspire to be, just in a gallery and having someone sell all of it and being a big name. The reason that industry is so damn opaque is because they don't ever want to let anyone know how much they discount everything all the damn time. Rich people did not get that way paying retail for anything. All we're greeted with are these stories from Sotheby's and I always forget what the other one is. Sotheby's and Christie's. Thank you. Over purchase price paid, right? And it's like, that is less than 0.1% of the artists out there and the artists that are selling. That is not the norm, right? And so you're not held to that standard or expected to do that. Like, instead, I want you, Mike, acquiring 100 customers this year. I want you acquiring 200 next year, yes, with merch, 500 the year after that. And then 10 years from now, you have this list of buyers, some small percentage of which are going to turn into collectors that are going to be with you and your business for the rest of your art creating life. That is the base salary. That is the 401k of an art business, right? And I would way rather you have that than saving a little face with your friends that have never sold any art before in their entire lives. So that's my 2 cents.
So I get that, and I am in 2 galleries here in Texas, and I understand, because anytime, like, they'll have a buyer who wants to buy my piece, they'll be like, oh, they want to know you can knock 10 or 15% off, right?
Always.
Yeah.
They just don't tell anyone.
I totally get that. But I guess for me doing it myself, saying, hey, I'm having a sale, they seem like it's a sellout or whatever. But okay, and then my last question about the merch. What type of merchandise is offered? Like, is that like pillows?
Yeah,
there's
pillows, tote bags, cell phone cases, greeting cards, coasters, calendars. I can't even think of all of them.
Okay, so there's a big variety.
Yeah, yeah. Just pick the ones that work for you, and then watch what happens, right? And I was using this example earlier in the week, and I got to go follow up with this customer and find out whether or not the sale got over the line. But it's a customer of ours, and he called me for advice because he had a multi 6-figure deal on the line, right? It was multiple pieces, a really rich person's house. So somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 deal. And I asked him, I was like, how did they find you? Did you ask? And he's like, they bought a book for me 2.5 years ago. And I'm like, that is how it works in the real world, right? 2.5 years ago, that person was interested in what you do. And because they bought a book and threw that book in their living room somewhere and looked at your art for the next 2 years, you're now dropping a multi 6-figure deal. So that's the game, right? Like, don't lose the damn customer. The hardest thing to do right now is just get the attention in the first place. And so if you can get an email address and a confirmed sale, you're on the path. The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, period.
Yeah. That's true. And I'm sorry to take so much time, but you just mentioned something else that made me think. So I'm actually in the process of writing a book, an art book. So would I have the opportunity to sell that on the website?
Oh yeah, all day long. You can put it as a standard product, and there's no transaction fees on it. Nothing. Like, you're good.
Great.
Get it on there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thanks, Mike. You guys hear that all the time, called by his gallery saying, can you lower the price? Can you lower it off 15, 20%? Like, the galleries negotiate more than anyone. Okay, Linda, you're up next. Go ahead, Linda.
So I mark up my, not the merch, the other stuff, 500%. And with Copilot, I know the sale, I was just in the Copilot room and they said, definitely talk to you about it.
Yeah, please.
I'm wondering with the different sales during fourth quarter, what's the percentage and at the different sales, and then after that, then it'll lead to the next question.
Yeah, we're gonna mix them up. I would have to get with Taylor and see what the exact strategy is, because it changes from time to time. our normal fear in this situation is that everyone sees every single solitary sale and knows every single solitary percentage, and they're going to want the best percentage, right? I go into it not worried about it one single solitary bit. If someone was like, "Hey, I really wanted this. You offered such and such percentage before, and now you're only offering 5%," and get on the phone with them and get the deal over the line, and just give them the deal, right? Like I don't stress about it in the slightest. Is that where you were going with it though? Like, well, somebody sees 10%.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so where I was going with it is, I guess the last sale, it was 25% off. I guess I can't remember what it was, and I went in and I made it 30.
Got it.
And they were showing me in Copilot how I could go in and make all my sales a certain price, but I don't want to, like act like I mean, I'm paying you guys for your wisdom.
Yes.
But I also know that you've suggested people start at 250 markup, and I decided I was going to start at 500.
I love that you're at 500. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah.
It's scary as all hell,
yeah.
Because I looked at the price on the website. It's like, shit, is somebody going to buy it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's great.
So
great.
So Patrick, would you then say, just leave it alone, Linda, and let us make the discounts at each time?
Yes, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but don't if it's terrifying you or petrifying you and you feel like you want to change it. I mean, that's the beauty of Copilot. You go in and you change it, right? It's not going to be the end of the world. For me, it almost doesn't matter because I don't get wrapped up in the what it is level, and I don't have like a strong feeling that 5 versus 30 versus 20 always moves the needle the way that you want it to. There's like so much variance in it. For me, is the psychology in place to get me to take action, right? Is there a discount and is it ending? Which is everything that I know as a marketer gets people to take action in a more robust fashion. So that's really the ballgame.
Well, I know that the first time buyer is 20% already. So when I see the 25, so this is my mind as a consumer. First time buyer, you go to the website, it always shows up. First time buyer. Okay, I'm going to buy. It's going to be 20% off. Now you show me that it's a 25% off sale. In my mind, I'm like, what's the big deal? Don't rush me.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is like, there's not an e-commerce shop in the world that you go to that doesn't offer you that coupon right now, right out of the gates, right? Like they just all do. It's just become the standard. And the reason it is it works. It works.
Right. But in my mind, the difference between 20 and 25 versus 20 and 30 is enough to move the needle.
Yeah. I wouldn't stress about that one iota. I would spend all of your time doing the marketing only you can do.
And then about that, it's also because I saw the way the Copilot writes it. It's across the board. Merch,
not merch.
Any prints,
it's not on merch.
Copilot doesn't distinguish that the sale is not on merch.
Does it do the coupon code for merch too? Indra?
No, I'm saying what they send out.
If I can jump in here.
Yeah.
Linda, hi Linda, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. So if you want to exclude merch from your sales, you just need to create a default coupon from the settings. And then you can exclude all merch related items from any sale.
They were telling me
bear in mind.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just bear in mind that this will be the default coupon used on every single sale from now on. So that will be your default coupon. And if you want to change it at some point, you can just go ahead and edit it.
Right. So that's more hands-on. And my point is that in the Copilot social media and email, it doesn't say anything. So it makes it sound as if merch is included, correct? So I would then need to
adjust the language, correct?
Yeah, so that means I have to go in each time that Copilot sends out a sale. So now it's more hands-on for me.
Yeah,
and that doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, not a good use of time. Yes, not a good use of time. Yeah,
exactly. So that doesn't sound so it and I don't know if it would make more sense to start upping the price of. I mean, we all know the merch delivery really makes the merch ridiculously priced. So if they buy one coffee mug and you take off 25 or 30%, that's coming off the cost of the mug, not the cost of delivery.
Yeah. Not the cost of shipping. Yeah, and I mean the important thing is that you obviously don't want to lose money on merch. I need to go and see whether or not the system would even allow something like that. It shouldn't, but yeah.
So I mean, I think you guys said do 100% markup on merch, correct? Is that right?
I don't know what our official position is on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
100 on merch,
Okay.
250 on prints.
Yeah. So
Right.
so there's still margin there to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
so then I'm just
the merch, like, you know, it always just needs to be thought of as a new customer acquisition tool. That's all it is. It's a new customer acquisition tool, and then it's an increase an AOV tool, right? Instead of getting a $100 sale, you get 150 because you sold them a piece and the merch. So that's the way to think of it.
And then the next questions I have, I don't think it's tech that's going to be able to help me. I think it has to do with base support. So, but you don't have a breakout room for that kind of stuff. So who do I need to do that online?
That's a good question. If it's a base support related issue, Indra, what do we do in that situation? Do you know?
I'm sorry, could you?
She's got a base photo quandary.
It's not a problem. It's a question about product and actually a suggestion box, because I mean, I'm used to buying framing and stuff. And when you go to order frames with Bay, it doesn't say what glass or acrylic. Is it museum? Is it non-glare? Is it, you know, it doesn't say diddly about that. And it doesn't give you an option either.
But I believe that they have all of that information listed on the website, though.
But not on our website.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if someone comes to buy, I mean, oh, and that brings up, I'm sorry, I've got some, they keep spinning off of each other. I apologize. So yesterday I was trying to, on my to-do list is make an experience page. And I was considering on my experience page, talking to people about ordering. Cause like I started comparing what it would be like to buy for me,
mm-hmm.
You know, framing and all with Bay, but then of course I mark it up. So if someone says, you know, I can say flat out, if you want to spend less money with me, I totally understand, and just get the print, you know, and not frame it. But I would recommend that if you do that, make sure you get at least matted with backing so it's protected. And then you can frame it in your own.
In that case, you're still making decisions for your buyers. You need to let them make the purchase as they wanted to make it. If imagine that you're in a store and you're looking at a t-shirt, and then some lady in the store comes and tells you that you need to look at the green one or the pink one or the blue one, but turns out that you just want the black one. So just let them make the choice.
Thank you, because that color looks like crap on me. You know, like to me, I would shop at a store when I feel like they have an honest, you know, when you know how you wear glasses, you go into a store and because you wear glasses, you can't see so well how you look in the glasses. So you want to go into a store where they you know, you kind of feel their good vibe about, you know, honey, that's really not a good shape for you. That kind of thing.
You can always use your emails, Linda, to throw in that those suggestions. As the artist, you can always suggest what you prefer or what you think would look best on the custom emails from Copilot. Why don't you give that a try?
But
instead of adding all of that information into the experience page, you can just add a romance email to suggest how different media types or different frames would look, and what would you suggest if you have a wall made of wood, or if your wall is grained or white or whatever color. You could just suggest in a romance email, and then you can, you know, not have all of that information available in the website, but you're gonna use it as a form of communicating with your audience.
But if somebody just comes to my website, they don't have that, they haven't gotten on the email, they haven't gotten that email.
Well, that's part of the VIP experience.
So you're saying that if somebody's become on my email list, then I send that out to them individually. It's not like on October 20th, I'm going to send out that email and then they join on November 15th. They haven't gotten that email.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that if you want to give recommendations to your buyers, you can give it to those who are already signed up, and you can just use it as a form of romance emailing.
but getting back to the issue of if they go to my website, how will they know what's the glass or acrylic that comes in the frame?
Because you're going to tell them on the email. You're going to give them that information on the email.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay.
Alrighty.
I don't agree. I don't agree, but I understand.
Okay.
So, okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Mm-hmm. Okay, Pat, are you here? Should I take over? Okay, so we're going to be moving on with Candy. How are you, Candy?
Good. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've got a couple questions. I decided to do just, since I'm in this cast, I can't do anything. I just set up myself in the studio, and I started this painting, and I was doing an underpainting, and I just literally did a live demo on Instagram for 2.5 hours. And,
awesome. And you were live on Instagram for 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great,
yeah. And
great work.
I think at one point I probably had about 6 people. I ended up with 3-4 people at the very end. And I said, thanks for coming on. I hope I inspired you, and so I did that. And so I thought that was really good. I'm going to do that again. Maybe when I do the next phase. And it's just a small little painting that I'm doing. And I thought it would be a good chance for me to stay in the painting. But, I am building my audience, and I just came into this at basically ground zero. Even though I've done art since dirt, I still started at base zero. I didn't have a customer base or anything like that. And so I have about 66, 65 people on my customer base now. And
on your contacts list?
Yes, contact list. And I'm almost at 900 on Instagram.
Great work.
I'm about 119 on Facebook. I have not been doing as well on Facebook. I'm trying to get back there.
Facebook takes a little bit more time and a little bit more effort.
Yeah, it's kind of a bore. I have to get over that attitude. But so knowing all of that, I was thinking about doing 1 or 2 giveaways, contests during Q4. Would that be good?
Running a giveaway is, of course, a great strategy to get even more contacts. But the thing is that we're in the middle of Q4 already. In what plan of Copilot are you on, Candy? If you can remind me.
I'm the medium level.
Yeah, so you have about 4 events happening this next month. So throwing in a giveaway is going to be a little bit too much. Plus, you're going to be diverting the attention from your customers who you're trying to sell at a discount, and they're going to be trying to get something for free. So, a giveaway, yes, great strategy, but not this month. Maybe give it a go in January, I would say.
Okay. So what if I did, and since I'm in this stupid cast and I can't do much, I thought about doing like maybe 11 by 14. I do portraits. And so to promote my portraits, maybe the Good Friday or something like that, maybe once a week, do a couple of $200 for an oil.
Yeah, you could. Have you carried out the custom artwork before?
Have I what?
Have you carried out the custom artwork strategy before? I think so.
I have not done that as a customer strategy. I mean, I did it once and I had one person sign up.
So what you could do with the portraits, it's offer them as a custom artwork offer and see how many offers you get. See how people react to it. And that way you will know if you run it for a week, then you can sort of know if you're going to have enough time to handle them, because you know that you're going to be busy at the moment. And if you are going to be, you said that you're in a cast still. So
yes.
If you're going to have
3 more
the time.
weeks.
Okay. And about how long does it take you to do a portrait?
Well,
that size that you told me.
Okay. So like a headshot, I could probably get it done 8 to 12 hours, depending upon the complexity.
let's say couple 2 or 3 days if you're
Yeah.
working, taking your breaks. Okay,
Yeah.
so you could do a couple of them a week. Yeah, so I would suggest you throw in that strategy, see how people react to it, and if you get some orders, then you can see, sort of make a list of the orders that you get. If you get too overwhelmed with all of the sales events that are coming, you can take
Yeah.
a pause on the custom artwork and then get back to it at a later date.
Okay. I could just do a couple a week.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
the playbook is in chat for you, Candy.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good
Candy.
one,
Heal up.
Colin.
Heal up. Heal up. Okay, Bill, you're up next. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, can you hear me?
Sure
Hello?
can. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I got a couple of issues. One is I still don't think I'm understanding what Copilot is supposed to do. For one, I, and I'm still having problems getting into my site. When I go to my site and I type and I went over to Tech last week, and I just pulled up the site coming in from Facebook, and I can't. And I know the password is correct, and I know the name the name is correct, and I can't get in. It tells me invalid username, password. Please try again. Use the forgot username and to reset password.
Okay, we can get you sorted in Tech. Put him in the room that has the short line, the one that has 3 people in it.
I think he's taking care of something actually pretty big, so I'll move you to Tech room
Okay.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll take over your screen and make sure you get in, Bill. And then they can explain to you. They can explain to you exactly what Copilot's doing too. But let's get
you.
Let's
Sending me to the tech people.
Yeah, let's get you into the website first.
Okay. Another question.
Yeah.
What
please.
about Instagram, the business page instead of regular Instagram? Is there a significant difference in that? I was talking to some people.
There is. The good news is it's totally reversible, meaning you can switch from one to the other and then right back if for some reason there's something you don't like about it. What I like about it the most is, might as well do the show and tell here. One of the most important things that you can measure on Instagram in terms of how you're doing is the number of pieces of content that you create per week. And that's not an easy thing to do unless you have a business account. So when you have a business account, they give you this thing called insights. And so if I'm on my regular Instagram, the home button, and I move over here to the little bottom right-hand corner icon, it gives me this hamburger menu, which are these 3 lines. That's called a hamburger menu in the upper right-hand corner. If I click on that, I can click on this thing called Insights. And Insights is sort of like a business dashboard, business statistics. And what it does if I scroll down is it tells me the content I shared over a period of time that's always defaulting to the last 7 days. And this sort of lets me know how I'm doing. Like, how much content have I been creating for Instagram? Now, this is the Art Storefronts account, and we're lunatics here because we have to practice what we're preaching. So you can see in the last 7 days, we've done 18 posts, 45 stories, 42 reels, 3 videos, 3 live videos, right? So that alone for me is worth it because that kind of gives you a benchmark on how much content you're actually creating on the platform. And so that's one of the primary reasons that we recommend every switch to it, in addition to the fact that it unlocks some other features. But like I said, it's totally reversible decision. So you don't lose anything by doing it. You can switch to the business account.
I'm not losing anything by not because I'm assuming they would like, shouldn't they be doing an Instagram business page?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. You should have a business page. Yeah.
I should have a business page.
Mm-hmm. I would just switch your personal to business. That's what I would do.
Do you guys do that, or do I have to do it?
We'll walk you through how to do it. We'll get they can show you in Tech, or I think they either that or they send you an article. But it's really easy to do. It's only a couple of buttons.
So I asked the Tech guys again.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's where can I get a better understanding? How can I get a better understanding of Copilot? Because I don't think that I'm getting the right understanding exactly what's going on as far as what you guys do as far as Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to. I've looked at this Instagram growth strategy thing, and I've kind of gone through it. And but again, I can't even log in to my web page.
Andrew, let's put him in the Copilot room because there's fewer people in line there. Get the Copilot sorted first. They could probably get you into the website too, and then if you still need Tech, we can get you into the Tech. But let's start in the Copilot room. and just have them explain to you and show you the back end and everything, Bill, so you can kind of start getting familiar with it. Did he freeze or did I freeze? Uh-oh. Looks like I froze.